Thank you, Mr. Bisignano, for appearing before the Finance Committee today in your capacity as the Chief Executive Officer of the Internal Revenue Service. On Tax Day today, I look forward to hearing from you about driving taxpayer-first outcomes at the IRS while implementing the Working Families Tax Cuts and delivering larger refunds. As you well know from the private sector, there are always critics, especially when running the day-to-day operations of an agency historically ranked as one of the least favored and most distrusted by the American public. But your distinguished private sector experience leading institutions through crisis, modernization, and transformation are the exact skill set that the IRS needs right now. We welcome your insights on how the IRS can better serve American taxpayers. This hearing comes at a consequential moment. Last year, President Trump and congressional Republicans acted to prevent the largest tax increase in American history. Had the 2017 tax cuts expired, taxpayers earning less than $400,000 would have faced a more than $2.6 trillion tax hike over the next decade. Let me say that again. Taxpayers making less than $400,000, and most of them making well less than $400,000, would have faced a more than $2.6 trillion tax hike over the next decade. Not only did Republicans make those tax cuts permanent, but the Working Families Tax Cuts Act also delivered significant new middle-class tax relief. Implementing the new provisions from the Working Families Tax Cuts in time for this filing season was no small task. Indeed, a few months ago, there was no shortage of commentators predicting a major disruption. With the individual tax filing deadline today, the results are now in, and the data speak for themselves. The filing season opened on time. Through April 10, the IRS received about 120 million returns and issued about 80 million refunds, millions more than last year. Average refunds increased about 11% to over $3,400, and refunds totaled almost $274 billion, tens of billions more than last year. While no filing season is perfect, the 2026 filing season has proceeded smoothly for tens of millions of Americans. Indeed, the lack of a major disruption has required some of your critics to change their tune. And in an attempt to avoid giving you credit, they now attribute this filing season's success to work that happened over a year ago. However, that shifting narrative ignores the work that you have led at the IRS to build the technology necessary to implement the Working Families Tax Cuts. New provisions for tips, overtime, car loan interest, and senior deductions were claimed on over 53 million returns, nearly half of all filings. These figures indicate that the IRS has done its job to ensure delivery of significant new middle-class tax relief. It also is a testament to the dedicated and skilled IRS employees who have worked to ensure that tens of millions of Americans received their refunds promptly and accurately this filing season. Looking forward, the IRS modernization and combating fraud in the tax system issues remain top priorities for this committee. Excuse me. 2 pages stuck together. And I look forward to hearing what steps the IRS is taking to make improvements in these areas. On the topic of modernization, Ranking Member Wyden and I recently introduced the Taxpayer Assistance and Service Act, or TAS Act. This bill includes 64 common sense provisions drawn from Finance Committee member proposals and the National Taxpayer Advocate recommendations. The TAS Act would improve the taxpayer experience and strengthen taxpayer rights. It has broad support across the tax community, and I'm glad to be able to working with my colleagues to advance it. Mr. Bisignano, I look forward to working with you and the Treasury Department to modernize the IRS to benefit all taxpayers. And thank you again for appearing today.